ready for your day with the morning warm-up with Trey Lyle. Join us live on VTRN Sports 93.3 FM or the VTRN Sports app. Open VTRN Sports on your smart speaker or stream live on YouTube. Time to get ready for your day with the morning warm-up with Trey Lyle and Ty Tracy.
7:03 on this Thursday, March 20th. Truly the best sports day of the year. Welcome on in to the morning warm-up. I'm Trey Lyle. Joining me, as they always do, Philip Doss is here.
Yo.
And Ty Tracy is here. And want to welcome you on into the morning warm-up. Philip, do you agree with me? I maybe not, because you're not a big, college basketball fan compared to myself. Do you think this is the best sports day of the year?
It can definitely compete for it.
It can compete for it. What day would you say is better?
Opening day college football weekend. You never know.
That's a weekend. I'm saying about a singular day. So you like that first Saturday of college football. That's not a bad one. I think opening day in baseball.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely pulls the nostalgia. The back of the box, Ty. Make sure it's plugged in.
Yes, plugged in.
All right. Is it plugged into the board? The other cord. We're dealing with technical issues on my headphones so maybe it's my headphones. So yeah, we're doing technical issues as the start of the show. But yeah, I think it's the best sports day of the year. Just because there's games all day, you get the crazy stories, like you get the crazy upsets, you get the Jack Golkes of the world who look like they'll be at the YMCA in 2 weeks.
You'll hear names you never hear again.
Bryson and I brought this up yesterday. I think Cade Matheny, and I'm not here to say Cade Matheny will be in a YMCA in 2 weeks, but I'm just saying his look. Let's be real. He's a short white guy with that doesn't have his hair, he looks like little thin hair.
Yeah,
he looks like a guy that you would see at the Y, but he just happens to be a really good basketball player. I think that's the guy to watch out for if you're Liberty in terms of becoming that star. Even Colin Porter to some degree, but the guy that America falls in love with.
Yeah, I was looking at things on ESPN and just over Twitter, and they're saying Cade Matheny, they couldn't wait to make somebody the Cinderella story like they want him to be. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, so we'll see. But let's get to it in case you missed it.
Keeping up with sports 24/7 takes some serious effort, especially when you're sleeping. Don't worry, the morning warm-up stays alert around the clock. Now here is everything you missed last night.
Everything you missed last night, starting with a couple of headlines for you before we get to some scores. The Detroit Lions, amongst other rule changes, I think we've gone over a couple. The Eagles asked for the same overtime rules and overtime to be in the playoffs, and like the playoff rules where both teams basically get a chance with the ball to be added to the regular season and increased to 15 minutes. I'm all for that. The Packers trying to get rid of the tush push, them scaredy cats. We'll just put it that way. Others, the Detroit Lions want to get rid of, make defensive holding, the 5-yard penalty, not an automatic first down. If you look up who led the league in defensive holding last year, you're going to guess who it was, Philip?
I would guess that team.
Yeah, so it's the Detroit Lions. Good assumption. But they also, this was interesting. I don't think this will be passed, but they proposed significant changes to the NFL playoff seeding. Basically, it would kind of look like the NBA. Do you know the NBA has divisions?
Yeah, more or less.
But you don't, they don't really matter.
Yeah.
Just more of a playing thing. Basically, under this proposal, the division winner with the best conference best record would still get the 1 seed, but the teams would be stacked by records regardless of if they won the divisions or received wildcard berth. So the Vikings would be like the 3 seed, either the 2 or 3. I think they had the same record as Philadelphia.
So you'd see more of those.
Because they were 14-3. and the Eagles were 14-3.
Mhm.
Whatever. Basically, they would have been the Vikings would have been a way better. The Vikings wouldn't have had to go on a road for their first playoff game after losing to the Lions. Basically, what would have happened. All right. It's interesting. I don't think it will pass. What do you think, Philip?
I don't know. You see a lot of those rules go in, get reviewed, come out, nothing. Tush push. I can't believe they're still trying to get that one banned. I don't know. I think the playoff seating, especially for the NFL, is good as it is. So I don't want to see any change to it, but you never know.
So you're okay with a 8-9 team or a 9-8 team getting a home playoff game over the 14-2, 14-3 team?
Oh.
That's kind of the basis of it. It's not like it's kind of like a scenario where we had last year where 2 of the 3 best teams were in one division.
Yeah.
And one of them is getting screwed. It's like the NBA where I think the Nuggets and the Lakers are in the same division. And,
it would definitely make sense to see the better team have home field advantage and get to stay home
just by record.
Yeah, instead of flying across the country.
Which I think even if you did that game in Minnesota, let's say the Rams, the Rams and the Vikings played in Minnesota, I still think the Rams win that game.
Yeah.
I mean, theoretically, the Rams didn't even get to home playoff game because of the LA wildfires. They had to play that in Arizona.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. So we'll see if that. I don't think it will pass. NFC South owners really want that home playoff game for their mid and AFC South for that mid divisions they got. The Texans should be better. And Ed's dreams have come true. McNeese's Will Reid has reached an agreement to become the next head coach at NC State, according to Joe Giglio of Ovis and Giglio down in the Raleigh area. It's a podcast, but he's well plugged in there, and sources have told ESPN. And basically, it's going to be a multi-year deal. And he, of course, takes on Clemson today on a game you can listen to right here on VTRN Sports. Other headlines, moving back to the NFL, defensive end Darnell Hunter and the Houston Texans have agreed on a 1-year, $35.6 million contract extension. Source confirmed to ESPN on Wednesday. Hunter signed with them last year for a 2-year, $49 million deal, and now have added 35.6. I mean, he was awesome last year with Houston. Obviously, Will Anderson is the man. Philip, if you had to block Will Anderson, what would you do? Because you actually played offensive line, so you could.
See, he's the type of defensive lineman. I don't know if Ty was like this. He'll go speed to power. He's not the biggest. Well, he's probably a 6'3", 250 around that.
He's a freak.
Big Dirk would tell us get on him now. So immediately I'm setting out. I gotta get hands on first. I can't let him win the line of scrimmage. So getting my hands on him first and immobilizing him, quick second. I gotta get on him first. Maybe snap him down, see what I can do, see if I'm strong enough for that.
All right, moving to the first 4 action from last night.
Weaver, second free throw. Around and out, rebound loose, batted to Swain for Xavier. He gets another big board. McKnight on the run out, throws to Conwell. 5 seconds underneath Fremantle. He dumps it with 1.8 seconds, and the party is on in Dayton. From 13 points down in the second half, the Xavier Musketeers storm back within 50 miles of their campus in front of a roaring Musketeers crowd. And they beat Texas 86-80 to cap the first 4 in scintillating style. Wow.
So as you could have heard last night on VTRN Sports, Xavier 86, Texas 80 in a game that Texas dominated for the first, 3/4 of the game. They were up 10 for a lot of it. And then all of a sudden, Xavier makes this comeback in the second half to win 86-80. Trey Johnson for Texas leads the way with 23 points in probably his final game with Texas, as he's the number 5 draft prospect. Foster for Xavier leads the way with 22 points. And ultimately, my takeaways from this, we're going to reveal our full brackets later. I think Illinois is going to beat either of these teams. I have more faith in North Carolina advancing out of the first 4 than these two. Xavier has good guard play, but one, the doubt me now vibe of North Carolina. Always the team that shouldn't get in, always goes on a run. So that's another reason. But yeah, so they get their biggest actually comeback win of the season. They erased a 13-point lead. I will say this. There were a lot more Xavier fans than Texas fans, and I think that was a big factor in the game, especially as it got closer. So, yeah. So Texas led 47-39 at halftime. It was the first time Xavier trailed at the break since January 29th. So they've been playing really good basketball of late. Has the Musketeers of Xavier, and they get a nice win, 86-80. My takeaways from this is, does Rodney Terry get fired at Texas? Obviously, he replaced Chris Beard after the Chris Beard scandal took Texas to the Elite Eight that year. I picked him to win a national championship that year, as well, I remember. But has had, I think, been one and done now the last two tournaments, if I'm not mistaken. And I would not be shocked if the next head coach of Texas was coaching the other team last night in Sean Miller. But we'll see. I mean, that was the hangout with Will Wade, was the Texas job. And it appears that, I don't know if they're going to keep Rodney Terry, and that means why he's staying with, going to not staying with NC State, but going to NC State, or NC State just made a good enough offer for him to refuse. But yeah, so we'll see what happens with Texas. That could be another looming job open. Other scores from last night in college basketball. Mount St. Mary's won in a kind of a, they kept them kind of, they went on a 12-0 run in the second half, and then they just cruised to an 83-72 victory. Unfortunately for American, I think they were out with like their two best players. Their best player tears his blew his knee out to start the game. So you feel for American. Mount St. Mary's now gets to go take on Duke. So good win. You'll be one and done in the NCAA tournament, most likely. Moving to the association last night before we go to break. Pistons 116-113. Kate Cunningham hits a game winner. I'm officially in capture the flag mode for the Miami Heat as a Miami Heat fan. Bam has 30, almost a triple-double, 39 and 8. Wow. The Heat have just spiraled since they lost Jimmy Butler, traded Jimmy Butler. For people out there that saying they shouldn't have, well, he was never playing with the team, so it's kind of, they had to. Pacers 135, Mavs 131, Rockets 116, Magic 108, Pelicans 119, T-Wolves 115, Zion with 29, 8 and 3, Thunder 133, Sixers 100. Quentin Grimes might lead the NBA in scoring in the final month of the season. He's dropped 28. But the other Jalen Williams gets a triple-double. The Arkansas Jalen Williams, not J-Dub, but the All-Star. Spurs 120, Knicks 105, Jazz 128, Wizards 112. Big loss for the Wizards because they're competing with the Jazz for the worst record in basketball. So that's a big loss for them. Lakers 120, Nuggets 108. Jokic and Murray don't play, but this random guy named Luka Doncic drops 31, 8 and 7. Man, I hope he never gets traded.
Yeah, right.
Suns 127, Bulls 121, Trailblazers 115, Grizzlies 99, and Kings defeat the Cavs 123, 119. More importantly, time to look at the NBA standings. It appears, I think the Heat are going to be the play-in in the East appears to be the Hawks, Magic, Bulls, and Heat. 5 games separate the Raptors and the Heat, so I think the East standings pretty much are set outside of the 4, 5, 6 seed. Then you have the play-in teams. As for the West, the 2 through 5 are all separated by 2 games. Lakers are 1 game back of Houston, so is Denver. As it sits now, it's Thunder, Rockets, Lakers, Nuggets, Grizzlies, Warriors. So that would set up a Lakers-Warriors first-round series, and I'd be all for that. And then Suns are finally back in the play-in as the 10 seed, so congrats to them. And then Kings, T-Wolves, Clippers round out the play-in teams, while the Mavs now fall out of the play-in. But yeah, so we're nearing the final month of the NBA regular season. Then we have, of course, the playoffs there as well. But our focus will be college basketball probably for the next month. We're going to talk more about this being the best day of the year in our next segment. We're also later on going to be talking about our picks. We have a special guest. That's what I'll tease. If you were here for the Trey Lyle Summer Series on the Fast Lane, you would know who we're talking about. And we're going to give him a very hard time. So he'll join us next year on the Morning Warm-Up.
We are making it happen at the Used Car Superstore on the Sheeler Motor Mile, your premier used car dealer serving Southwest Virginia and surrounding areas for over 50 years with the best selection, value, finance options, and exceptional service. Plus 900 pre-owned vehicles all in one location. Volume selling means volume pricing, and we've got the volume. The Used Car Superstore is your one-stop for most makes and models. Cars, trucks, vans, SUVs. Many have miles in the teens, remaining factory warranties, and some are even local one-owner vehicles. Plus, Sheeler owns the finance company. Getting approved for credit is easy on the Motor Mile with finance options for every budget. 900 used vehicles in stock now. More than any other dealer in the area. Hurry in for straightforward pricing and more inventory arriving daily. Why wait? Make it happen at the Used Car Superstore on the Sheeler Motor Mile, your premier family-owned car dealer serving Southwest Virginia and surrounding areas for 50 years. I-81 exit 118C in Christiansburg. Call 866-SHEELER1. Always open at Sheeler.com.
When the thrill of playing ball turns into the agony of a broken windshield or car window, contact Apple Auto Glass. Your local auto glass repair shop on Allegheny Avenue in Lynchburg, Apple Auto Glass provide a professional assessment with the honesty from your neighbors, so you can get back to sharing the great moments this season.
Guests are great, except unwanted guests. At Specialty Exterminating, we know the difference. Hi, I'm Sabrina Kennan with Specialty Exterminating. We help you keep unwanted pests out of your home. Now we can keep those reptiles away. Our new reptile repellent is the perfect add-on for your pest prevention service. It's pet and people safe, so it's perfect for any homeowner, especially pool owners and homes in wooded and rural areas. Call us so we can repel the reptiles. Specialty Exterminating, your pest prevention partner since 1979.
Welcome to the Villas at Oakwood, offered by Oakwood Villas Retirement Homes, LLC, the best kept secret in Bedford. Our stunning community offers spacious, one-level modern villas with top-of-the-line amenities. Enjoy a walk through our landscape community, connect with neighbors in our clubhouse, and take in the views of the peaks. Visit thevillas@oakwood.com or contact Robin Lee Sage at 434-238-4477, brokered by Legacy Realty and Development.
When you're voted one of the best plumbers according to Lynchburg Living magazine, you want to hire the best. Sullivan Plumbing wants the best plumbers to join our award-winning team. Do you have a clean driving record? Do you have at least 4 years plumbing experience? Then you're a 5-star recruit, and Sullivan Plumbing would love to meet with you. Take the first step. Call Sullivan Plumbing in downtown Lynchburg or email sullivanplumbing@gmail.com.
Depressed about your favorite sports team? Well, VTRN Sports is presented by the perfect relaxing beach house vibe, 801 Raw Bar on Church Street in downtown Lynchburg.
Good morning. We are just getting your day started here on VTRN Sports with the Morning Warm-Up. Stay connected with the show at Trey Lyle VT and Ty Tracy 90 on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Listen wherever you are with the VTRN Sports app or watch the show live on YouTube at youtube.com/VTRN Sports Lynchburg. Now, back to the morning warm-up.
7:22, and we finally got our technical issues fixed. Ty knows how to plug things in now. He's paying attention. Yeah. All right. Today, we're going to do Today in Sports History, and then we're going to dive into why today might be the best day of the sports year.
Iguodala to Curry, back to Iguodala, up for the layup. Oh, blocked by James.
Many doubted we'd ever see it. But here it is. The return to glory.
It's time for Today in Sports History.
Seconds left in the game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes! Unbelievable.
to the court with Arcidiacono. 3 seconds at midcourt. Jenkins gives it to Jenkins for the championship.
Let's hear what Ty really knows about what happened on this day in sports history.
Philip. 1-0, 1-0, because I was nice to you and didn't give you the ones that you didn't know, and Ty just ran in and got. So we got 3 today. We'll see how you do.
Let's go. Let's do it.
On this date in 1973, this man was elected to the Baseball Hall of Fame 11 weeks after his death in a plane crash on a humanitarian effort to Puerto Rico. He played for the Pirates. Is your hint? He had 3,000 hits.
Was he in the military?
No, it's not Jackie Robinson.
Oh, Joe DiMaggio.
Joe DiMaggio never played for the Pirates, and so that's wrong. It's Roberto. And Joe DiMaggio is also not Puerto Rican. Well, he might be, but I mean, he's not from Puerto Rico.
Oh man,
it's Roberto Clemente.
Oh, good to know.
So,
good enough for the next time.
I don't know how you don't know who Roberto Clemente is, but okay. Great baseball player who tragically passed away in a plane crash during a humanitarian effort.
That does suck. That does suck.
So he is the name, like the MLB's version of the Walter Payton Man of the Year. Yeah. He's their named. It's the
equivalent.
So,
all right.
Yeah. All right.
Let's go.
Staying with baseball. In 1989, baseball announced that they were investigating then Reds manager, insert name, because he allegedly gambled on baseball. He eventually got found to be banned for life.
Oh. Any guesses, Ty? Oh no.
Was it like was it Rose?
Come to the mic, Ty.
Was it like Rose?
Rose what?
Shoot.
His first name. You're looking for his first name. Starts with a P.
I want to say P.
Pete Rose.
Pete Rose.
Yes.
Okay.
0 for 2.
I actually know who that is.
You don't know who Pete Rose is?
I do. I didn't know who the last one, but okay, maybe 1 and 2. Let's go 1 and 2.
All right. This one's easy. After 20 years with this team, a 6-time Super Bowl winning quarterback, Tom Brady, agreed to move to what team?
Tampa Bay.
Yes. I had to give him the layup. I was trying to figure out how I was going to phrase it, but you need to learn some baseball, man.
Yeah. Was it parents weren't much for growing up, so apparently I couldn't be
2 years, $50 million deal for Brady. All right. I'm going to give you one more, and I will clean your slate for today.
Okay.
In 1990, the Lakers retired the number 33 for who?
Kareem.
Okay, good job. All right. I was going to.
Shaq.
So you're now 2 and 2.
Okay. Overall, probably 4 and 12.
Well, luckily we have just now started tracking this, so you're 2 and 2. Ty still 10 and 6. Well, you got Pete Rose, so you're 11 and 6. Congratulations. How do you feel? Any statement you want to bring?
We doing good so far, so I ain't gonna get too excited right now. 11 and 6, so I can't complain about that.
Yeah, today was a difficult today in sports history. I could have done something with Tyson. Listen to this name, Tony Tubbs by TKO.
What a name.
In the Tokyo Dome to win the undisputed title. But yeah, so, and also today's birthday is of a hockey legend, Bobby Orr. Do you have any idea who that is?
I know the name.
Okay. So today is, in my opinion, and you can expand it to the weekend, the best sports weekend of the year. It is the NCAA tournament. And it's because there's games all throughout the day. You start at noon and you go till midnight. And it's 4 games at once, essentially. And crazy things happened. Like it has every factor. I'm someone of the belief that if I had to choose, I'd pick college football over pro football. Like I just love it more. Like it's I think a more entertaining product because
Agreed.
more like I want weird stuff to happen in my sports games.
And it's more competitive too as well. Let's be real on that one. It's nothing against the NFL, but I think college football they show more effort and is more competitive to watch.
Well, the parity is better in the NFL, but that's because of a salary cap and draft picks.
Too.
But I think it's more, I don't want to say appealing, but it's more just weird stuff happens. Like weirder stuff happens. I think is the better way.
And then you won't get called a flag for hitting somebody too hard too.
Well, they do have targeting.
I'm just saying they let the players hit on college football. It's that in the NFL, if you hit somebody, you get a flag for no reason.
Tell us how you really feel, Ty. But yeah, so today is the best sports day of the year, in my opinion. Phil feels differently, as he mentioned at the top of the show.
More or less.
He said the opening of college football, but that's also because you played college football.
Yeah. I guess March Madness weekend.
So like that's so this is going to be something unique for you this year. Like you're finally, obviously college more football in particular. Like you never really got to experience it from the fan side. Like
yeah, that's true.
You're what? Like cuz you would have either a peewee game on a Saturday or high school football, you're recovering from that.
Yeah.
So are you pumped?
I'm pretty pumped. I
can give you some good lessons. My mom can attest to I have mastered. I always have a 2 TV setup.
Really?
I'll have games on my lap. So I have switched carriers of my television product. I'm now on Hulu. I was on YouTube TV. YouTube TV, it was great because you could do the multi-view. So I'd have 8 games on my TV at once.
Man, what made you switch?
Monetary reasons, because it's overpriced.
Very fair.
It's overpriced now. And I can get Hulu, Disney, and ESPN Plus. So, but man, like I think opening day from a nostalgia point of view is always good. And that's someone who just loves baseball.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the opening weekend in the NCAA tournament, especially the Thursday, Friday. Also, it's the only time I get to leave. Well, I leave work today at 2:30. That's nice. But I'm excited.
Yeah, nothing beats being back in school. Just all the teachers or PE teachers would just turn the screens on the March Madness games and let us watch it.
Yeah,
so
if there is a teacher,
nostalgia.
If there's any teachers listening,
let the kids watch.
Let the kids watch. I mean, there was a great teacher at the ACC tournament that had the AV cart, and like that's how you used to watch it.
Yeah.
So I would have some teachers that do it. Like they either put the game on. And by the time I had like in high school, I had a iPhone or I had a iPod Touch, and I could just watch the game. Or I bring my laptop in. That's when I had like a little laptop I could not sneak in. I just bring in. And I watch the games on there. But yeah, the teachers that let you watch, like PE you would always have it.
Oh yeah.
But it was nice. The March Madness Live app is the best because they let you do the multi-screen even on your phone. So like at lunch, I would definitely have the games on my phone and I'd watch the games. But it always was it was always difficult when you were in that serious class. You can tell him to come in here. He's fine. Okay. But it's always interesting to see what is what's gonna happen. All right, we're gonna take one more break. We're gonna have a long final segment because our special guest is here. So we're gonna take a break. When we come back, it is 7:33 on this March 20th. We're gonna go deep into the NCAA tournament next here on the Morning Warm Up.
Your home is more than just walls and windows. It's where life happens. And at Right Choice Construction, we get that. We're not just builders. We're fathers, mothers, neighbors, just like you. And every nail and every beam reflects our commitment to creating a place you're proud to live in. With Right Choice Construction, you're choosing a team that's been perfecting the art of building for years. So build with us. build with experience, build with quality, build with right choice.
Mark Dalton here with Terry Volkswagen. Get ready to fall head over heels for the perfect VW SUV. One size doesn't fit all, though, and that's why Volkswagen has an SUV for everyone. From the compact and affordable Volkswagen Taos to the tech-packed Tiguan and the spacious Volkswagen Atlas. No matter which one fits your lifestyle, you'll love the comfort, performance, and safety. Stop by Terry Volkswagen on Forest Road in Lynchburg or check us out online at terrybw.com. Terry Volkswagen. You'll love our cars.
Join the Lynchburg Hillcats at Bank of the James Stadium this summer for any of your favorite nightly promotions. New this year are Senior Sluggers Tuesdays, where members of the Silver Sluggers Club get in free, and College Pride Night, where those wearing college apparel receive a discounted ticket on Wednesdays. As always, we'll have Thirsty Thursdays and giveaways and fireworks on the weekend, and free admission for Kids Club members on Sunday. Get your tickets today at lynchburg-hillcats.com.
The Black Pros, Mount Joy, Government Mule, JJ Gray and Mofro. Need us to continue? Paul Coffin, the California Honey Drop, Larkin Poe. And that's just a handful of acts performing at Floyd Fest 25 Aurora, July 23rd through 27th at Festival Park in Floyd. Ticket prices increase April 1st. Get your tickets now at floydfest.com. Winner of the Best Music Festival, even more acts to be announced soon for Floyd Fest 25 Aurora. Get your tickets now at floydfest.com before prices increase April 1st.
When you're voted one of the best plumbers according to Lynchburg Living magazine, you want to hire the best. Sullivan Plumbing wants the best plumbers to join our award-winning team. Do you have a clean driving record? Do you have at least 4 years plumbing experience? Then you're a 5-star recruit, and Sullivan Plumbing would love to meet with you. Take the first step. Call Sullivan Plumbing in downtown Lynchburg or email sullivanplumbing@gmail.com.
It's natural to wonder why you should consult a legal advocate after a serious auto accident. The reason is personal injury cases are complex. Hi, I'm Randy Trost with Trost Law. Filing a claim isn't just about filling out a form and waiting for a check in the mail. Most accident resolutions require intricate knowledge of Virginia's personal injury laws and experience working with insurance companies. That's where Trost Law will help. Call us at 777-HURT and visit trostlaw.com so we can do the work to obtain the best result for you.
Guests are great, except unwanted guests. At Specialty Exterminating, we know the difference. Hi, I'm Sabrina Kennan with Specialty Exterminating. We help you keep unwanted pests out of your home. Now we can keep those reptiles away. Our new reptile repellent is the perfect add-on for your pest prevention service. It's pet and people safe, so it's perfect for any homeowner, especially pool owners and homes in wooded and rural areas. Call us so we can repel the reptiles. Specialty Exterminating, your pest prevention partner since 1979.
Good morning. We are just getting your day started here on VTRN Sports with the morning warm-up. Stay connected at Trey Lyle VT and Ty Tracy 90 on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Listen wherever you are with the VTRN Sports app or watch the show live on YouTube at youtube.com/VTRN Sports Lynchburg. Now, back to the morning warm-up.
7:20, or no, I'm looking at the wrong thing. 7:36 on this March 20th. I looked at the date. Well, folks, we decided to bring him in here. He's back. It's Caleb Weisinger at Caleb Ventidos on Twitter. Is that it, right?
CW Ventidos.
CW Ventidos. I forgot how it's way too complicated. All right, how are you?
I am doing wonderful. It has been a very interesting stretch of months in a lot of ways. A lot of stuff going on in sports and personal life, and it's been a good time.
Yeah, so we're gonna catch up, and then we'll reveal. He joined our bracket group, so I got him in here. He's gonna join for our picks because he obviously him and Brian Nolan were a key part of our pick segments throughout the summer months and the football season. So let's go over. You had a pretty interesting fall. You got engaged, so congratulations there.
Thank you.
But you were able to call a couple of high school football games for Nelson County.
I was. That was a lot of fun. Great experience, and team just fell short in the first round of the playoffs, but that was a lot of fun.
And then obviously you are now in your final semester here in college.
Absolutely.
So excited for that.
Yep. Not doing any more semesters after this. This is the last semester. And just started a new class. We're cruising to the finish line. Let's just say that.
I understand that. Philip, do you feel the same way?
I'll probably somehow find myself stuck in another class next semester, but we are cruising to the finish line.
So this is your last semester too. It's supposed to be, right?
Yes.
Okay. Hey,
Yeah,
I mean, my brother, shout out to Josh, had to do a 5th year, so I get it.
Yeah, just have like a finance class standing in my way. Other than that,
Gotcha.
I probably still need to apply for graduation, but other than that, smooth sailing.
I remember doing that. That was a long time ago.
Yeah, I'm glad I realized, but you got to apply for graduation. Hey, look, in my book, you earn that. You either get it or you don't. All right.
I think all I had to do was like make sure my degree was spelled right. I don't know. It was on a hokey spot.
Yeah, I pretty much had to say this is how to spell my name on the diploma.
Well, for you, it definitely did.
We'll see what I get.
You're gonna have a long wait, bud, which I guess you're used to.
I very much am, but I've grown up in a private school, so usually my wait is just like 20 people.
Now it's going to be a lot more.
It's going to be quite a bit more. It'll be smaller because of the specific school ceremonies.
Yeah,
but when your last name starts with anywhere from W and on, it's a while. You really don't start pre-gaming until the events get like halfway through, you know?
Yeah, so I always viewed myself as like an M in order because I was LY, and so I always knew I was going to be the last L. Like I always knew because there was no LZ. Like, you know, if there's someone with the last name LZ, then I that would be first. So like LY, I was like, all right, I'm going to be the last L every time. So I always, when you had to get an order by alphabet, I always try to find someone with the M because there's no point in finding someone with the L because I'm going to be behind them. So I would always, there's strategy in this.
But I would always get excited when they would switch it up and go with alphabetical by first name because then I was one of the first people. Oh man,
it was worse.
That was a thrill.
I would have gone by T. And all right, I have a couple more questions before we get to our picks.
Let's do it.
So we got to ask Philip this. We had Caleb Barnes on earlier. Liberty winning Conference USA, like football. I think it's different. You know that was a really cool moment that first year. But now they've done it in men's and women's basketball, sweeping it this past week, and now both teams are heading to the NCAA tournament. How for you does that feel? Because it felt like both programs are kind of similar in terms of these past couple of years. They've gotten really close to the NCAA tournament, but just couldn't break through. Obviously, 2020 for the men is always a what if year, but how does it feel this past couple of weeks seeing the men and women, I don't want to say finally break through because they both have made the tournament. They're both good,
right?
Been really good, consistent programs, but kind of breakthrough is kind of the word the best way to describe it.
For me, it means a little more for the men's team because I remember, at least the way I felt personally, last year I thought Liberty basketball was dead in the water without Darius McGee. Really had a rough season last year and lost a lot of people. Our team looked a lot different this year. And a lot of people don't give it enough credit. That's a hard conference. You can't really compare the conferences to each other like you would in football season because in football season, there are 4 conferences that matter. But in basketball season, you've got conferences like the Big East that you forget exists during the fall. But, I mean, you just saw one of those teams last night, Xavier, take out an SEC school in the first 4. So, I mean, it was good to see Liberty win the men's Conference USA, and I'm glad the women did too, because this is Bella Smuta's final year. Don't know what's going to happen with her. I assume she could find her way into the league somehow, but into the dub. Yep, absolutely. Maybe into the NBA. Who knows? But
I don't think so.
Well,
no offense.
Hey, there might be some people that know, but I think it's really exciting. They both got really tough matchups. Women are facing off against Kentucky, and Liberty continues their storied rivalry with Oregon on the men's side.
Yeah, how nuts is like all the connections you could make in these two matchups? Like Kentucky, it's the Kenny Brooks aspect of it. It's the Georgia A. Moore because of their ties to Virginia Tech. There's a lot of, and then obviously, and Bryson brought this up, but they both, Coach Kerry Green and Kenny Brooks have had a long relationship and have played each other before multiple times. And then you have, obviously, Oregon basketball and Liberty basketball have not crossed paths, but obviously Oregon and Liberty have crossed paths recently in a game where, was one-sided, but that Oregon team was probably the 5th best team in the country that year. So
I think they were one of the 4 best teams in the country that year.
That you could legitimately argue that they were that good. Their only losses were the team that finished, was the national runner-up.
Yep.
So those is it more fun that there's these personal, like, I don't want to say personal rivalries, but these connections to Liberty that they're playing, because it's not like they're playing what's another 4 seed or they're a 5 seed. They're not playing. I guess a good example would be like Memphis. If they were playing Memphis, that would be like just a random kind of thing.
Right. I think it is really unique because the more we play each other, the more the athletic directors get to connect with each other and even possibly just toss around the idea of, hey, we'll schedule you for this game in this sport like 5 or 10 years in the future. It opens the door up for a lot of future matchups in any sport. And the fact that I think it's good that our first 2 meetings aren't both in football, one in football, one in basketball, the 2 main sports. So assuming this one goes a little better than the football, I have a
feeling it will be closer. I have
I have some feelings about that game that we'll talk about in a few minutes, but I think it'll be a lot different than a lot of people think. But I think it'll be unique to see if Liberty and Oregon can play each other outside of any sort of playoffs within the next 5 or 10 years, because it's something that would have never crossed either of these guys' minds. And now it's happened twice. And it's just really unique. It's not something you'd expect. It's one of the most prestigious brands in all of college sports in Oregon, Now, I'm just kidding. Oregon is the prestigious brand I'm talking about, not Liberty. But it'll be unique to watch. I'm ready to go duck hunting again.
Interesting. All right. Final question before we get to our picks. So, Ty, be ready. Caleb. Who's the best quarterback in the NFL?
Lamar Jackson.
I knew he was going to say it. I knew he. Hey, you know what?
Because I'm a man of my word.
I respect you. Stand on business. Okay.
Didn't Patrick Mahomes throw all the interceptions this year?
Do you want me to ask you the question where you answer Patrick Mahomes again?
I don't answer Patrick Mahomes. Let's talk about the bracket. All right.
All right. There we go. I was gonna say. All right, let's do this. All right, we're gonna start with. Give me. All right, we'll start with the obvious. Oregon and Liberty. How do you have Liberty winning, and then how far you got Liberty going?
I have Liberty beating Oregon in all 3 of the brackets I've filled out so far. And
wait a minute. You fill out one bracket.
Well, for this I do.
No, like in general, it's just you have one.
Well, no, I've got other groups I'm in on other platforms.
Are the picks the same?
No.
Okay, so you're trying to win.
No, I'm just trying to fill out as many brackets as I can.
Okay, well,
winning
fundamentally disagree with that.
Winning is a mentality. It's not something you can do.
He's clearly going with the Lamar Jackson effort here.
Anyway, right. I've got Liberty in our VTRN sports bracket. I don't have them getting out of the second round. I think that, I've got Arizona beating Akron, and I don't think those teams can really stack up against each other. I think it will take everything that Liberty has to beat Oregon, because don't get me wrong, they can do it, but they need to play their absolutely best game of the year, and I don't think they can do that twice in a row. So I don't have them getting far, but I have them getting out of the first round.
Got it. Ty?
I have Oregon beating Liberty.
Okay, Phil, did you fill out a bracket?
I did not, but in my mind, whatever reality you want to think about that.
The metaverse?
I'm taking Liberty over it. Like you said, I don't think they'll get far. Just looking at what Liberty has on their team, but they're probably going to play their butts off, and I can see them getting out the first round, and then they'll have issues later down the road, but we'll see what happens. But I'm taking Liberty.
All right. I agree with Ty. I have Oregon beating Liberty. It's more of a case of, I believe, Dana Altman just wins, man, especially in March. Like, he's an underrated coach, I think, in college basketball. And this is not to take away from Richie McKay and this team. It took a lot for Liberty to get to this point this season with the way they played in Conference USA in that tournament. And
plus, I'll say there's just a lack of depth as well for Liberty. That's going to kill them against Oregon.
I think the interior size, like, this is a good matchup for Liberty because the guards that Oregon has are not big. Whereas you look at but Oregon does have some good depth in their front court and good size in their front court. So I have the Ducks. I actually have the Ducks in the Sweet 16.
I think I saw a stat the other day saying Liberty was one of like the top 10 shortest average teams in the country, and that's been a consistent theme for them. But
the
with that
guards
comes a little bit of guard play. I mean, they basically have 6 starters. Conference USA 6th Player of the Year. Taylor Peters averaging almost 14 points a game off the bench. I mean, that's pretty decent, and that's something that Oregon will have to look out for is a star player coming off the bench.
Yeah, we've said, Bryson has said this yesterday, Bryson Gordon from News Advance, and I kind of agree with him. I would not be shocked if come Monday morning, Caden Matheny's getting a Today Show interview or something, or maybe tomorrow. Wait, that game? Yeah, it has to be Monday because they're the last game on Friday. That's another thing. Is
they tip off at like 2 a.m. this West Coast time.
They tip off at 10 p.m. They are literally
the last first round game.
The last first round game in Seattle. That for Liberty is a concern when they're playing Oregon, who is used to playing that late. And that will be 7:30 Oregon time versus 10 p.m. And that's a big difference. You're gonna have dog hair all over you. Hokie is excited to see you.
I'm a bit used. Oh my gosh, I really am gonna have dog hair all over me.
And well,
dude, I've got class after this, Hokie.
Well, just say you got that dog in you. All right,
got that dog on me.
Let's move on. Some upset picks. What do you got?
So, a lot of people might see this as an upset just because of the seeding, but I've got Arkansas over Kansas.
Okay, timeout. 10 over. Okay, I don't think you call upset picks 8 over 9 and 10 over 7 because they're basically even teams.
What about 11 over 6?
I think an upset pick is 11 down.
I've got Drake over Mizzou.
I also have Drake over Mizzou. I have Drake in the Sweet 16. And that's not even the double-digit seed I have going the farthest.
I also have Drake in the Sweet 16. It's so hard to navigate this silly little app.
I have 3 double-digit seeds in the Sweet 16. I have Drake. I have UC Cal. I have Cal San Diego. UC Cal San Diego.
Here's a few for you.
Or UC San Diego.
My Midwest region is nuts. I've got McNeese over Clemson.
Actually, I have North Carolina also in the Sweet 16, so that's 4 double-digit seeds.
After watching the way they played a couple of days ago, they could really
They could have won by 2, and I'm still having them in there. It's more of always the team that is like they shouldn't have get in. This is a robbery. Always goes on a run.
And my buddy and I were talking about this the other day. There's a difference between a team. There's difference between a team having a tournament resume and being a tournament team. UNC performs well under the pressure of the NCAA tournament. They won a national championship not long ago. I think they could go deep. But I've got a few more upsets for you.
So do I. But I was going to mention about Carolina's path. They play Ole Miss. I think they can beat Ole Miss. And then Iowa State is missing one of their best players. So I think that would help them as well.
And thankful for them, they don't have to touch Duke until the final.
Keep going with your upsets, and then I'll mention like the 2 big upsets I have in the bracket.
I've got McNeese over Clemson. I've got High Point over Purdue.
I have High Point
specifically because I have no faith in Purdue when it comes to the March Madness tournament.
They
find the best ways to just blow it up as fast as they can.
So
which leads to a 12-13 matchup in the second round.
Ty, we'll get your I have a 12-13 matchup actually in the second round as well. It's Cal versus Yale. I have Yale upsetting Texas A&M.
I was about to say the same thing too.
Back-to-back years, the Nerds beat the SEC team. Look, Texas A&M, their biggest strength is offensive rebounding. They turn over the ball a lot and they can't shoot.
Yeah.
Yale is really good at not turning the ball over and shooting and getting you off the offensive glass. So it's just a good matchup for Yale. I know people are like, they're not going to see. So I have an upset in the second round that I want to discuss. The earliest I have a 1 seed going out in this tournament is in the second round. and it's the Houston Cougars because they will lose to Gonzaga. And it's more of a bet on Mark Few and Gonzaga, who, according to Kim Palm, is still the 9th best team in the country.
Mhm.
So I just think Gonzaga gets it done. The double-digit seed I have going the farthest is
I got VCU.
I have VCU going to the Elite Eight, taking on Duke. So let's get to our Elite Eight. So I have Duke taking on VCU. I have Clemson taking on Tennessee. I have St. John's taking on Florida, and I have Michigan State taking on Auburn. So I have a lot of chalk in there.
I got Memphis. Making it to the Elite Eight.
Ooh. So you have Memphis beating Auburn.
Yes.
No, I'm looking at Memphis beating Florida.
No, Memphis beating No. I missed I looked at it wrong. I got Florida making it to the Elite Eight, but Memphis go lose to Florida in the Elite Eight.
In the Sweet 16.
Yeah. I looked that wrong. My bad.
I'm telling you, this app is very confusing layout.
That's why I printed my bracket.
My Elite Eight, I have. Am I saying who I have or who I have winning my Elite Eight games?
Just say who you have for now. And then
I've got Louisville and Marquette in the South. Florida.
So you have Louisville beating Auburn.
I do.
Okay.
And then I have them beating Yale in the Sweet 16.
You have a 7-8 matchup in the Elite Eight?
Yep.
Okay.
Absolutely, I do. And then I've got Florida, St. John's in the West.
So do I.
Duke, St. Mary's in the East. In the Midwest, I've got Gonzaga and Kentucky.
You love some 7 and 8 seats.
What are you talking about?
You have
St. Mary's won their conference. They're a solid team.
Yep. I understand that, but you have
I got them over Alabama, over Wisconsin,
so
definitely over Vanderbilt.
I have been Vandy actually beating St. Mary's. But that's
Whoa.
I have High Point over Purdue as mentioned in the upsets. I really wanted to take Akron over Arizona, but I you can't have all these upsets. You got to go chalk a little bit.
I forgot to tell you my last big first round upset was Wofford over Tennessee.
You're just trying to play the points game at this point.
I am trying to just perfectly craft this bracket into something that's going to be talked about, that my children's children will be talking about. Do you remember your great grandfather's bracket back in 2025?
All I know is this makes me feel a lot better hearing his picks. All right, Final Four time. I have Duke VCU as mentioned. Duke wins, obviously. Clemson and Tennessee in the Midwest. Tennessee advances. Florida over St. John's. I really wanted to. So I thought I had 4 teams in my head that I wanted in the Final Four. I've been able to get 3 of them. St. John's was the 4th. And I really thought, I was like, Patino with a really good team, he can make the Final Four. It's just the fact that he's going to have to go up against Florida, I don't like. So I have Florida beating St. John's. And then I have the Duke, Michigan State, and Florida were the 3 other teams. And I have Michigan State beating Auburn in the South.
I believe, is Florida the top seed, or is that listed as Auburn?
Auburn's the number 1 overall. Duke's the 2. Florida's the 3. And then I have Florida over Duke in my national championship. Ty, what's your Final Four and your national champion?
I got Michigan State, Florida, Duke versus Kentucky for the Final Four. Then I got Florida and Duke. I got Florida winning the whole thing.
So Ty and I have the same national champion and that championship game.
So
you're different because you have like
Final Four is kind of where I come back down to earth. I've got Florida over Marquette and Duke over Kentucky. So once again,
we all 3 of us have the same national championship.
But I've got Duke winning.
So
because I assume they're going to have a very healthy Cooper Flag, and when he's healthy, I don't think there's a team in the country that.
So
can
I'm gonna be mad at myself. Yes, he
absolutely.
Does. He believes in Shaka.
It was either them or Louisville. It was a 7-8 matchup. I did it to myself, Ty.
So that's true. So also why I have VCU going on a long run to make the UVA head coaching search even harder, because Ryan Odom, Texas might win Ryan Odom if he takes a team to the Elite Eight. Just saying that that's selfish. But I had Duke for the longest time, but then I saw like 40% of people had Duke winning the national championship, and never the first team that everyone picks to win the national championship wins the national championship.
It is always not the team that is supposed to win. I always look back to that year Jalen Suggs was at Gonzaga, and they were undefeated until either the Final Four or the national championship.
Really
I know, but it is just never the
Florida
team that
is really like. This Florida team kind of reminds me of the last 2 UConn teams. They have 3 really good guards, and they're just dominant.
I think it's going to be really close. Florida is really good this year, and I don't think many people saw that coming.
So I don't know about you guys. I guess you would agree. If I take Florida or Duke over the field, like I really believe those are the two teams that will win the national championship.
Isn't it unique, though, this year for the men's tournament? We've got 2 SEC schools as 1 seeds.
That's happened before. The ACC,
Has it?
Yeah, I think when the Big East had 11, they had 2 1s, and then
I'm talking about specifically the SEC, because March Madness is just, you hear a lot more about like the Big East and ACC and teams like that.
The SEC's been the best conference this year. They had 14 teams in, but Florida's won national titles, and Auburn has Bruce Pearl, who's one of the best coaches in the country. So I'm not shocked by that. I mean, you could argue Tennessee should be a 1 seed. So yeah, Kentucky. Just injuries with Kentucky concern me. I have them losing in the second round, actually. So all right, Philip, you didn't fill out a bracket. Do you want to pick a national champion before we get on out of here?
If Cooper Flag can come back, I'm taking Duke, but if not, I could really see them just shutting them down for the year, but I'm either taking UNC or Florida. We'll see what happens.
11-seeded North Carolina, who's 1-12 against quad 1 opponents. What a pick!
Let's do it.
Okay, Philip Doss coming out with a heater. All right, Caleb, it was good to see you.
It was great to be here.
We'll get you on. Maybe preview a golf tournament. We'll get you on to do that.
Let's do it. And once my bracket goes perfect, you can come on to apologize, and I'll say thank you, and it'll be a great time.
You know what?
Also, my bracket will be ruined in
wait a minute.
5 hours.
We got to get out of here. So, you know what? I'm so confident. If your bracket goes perfect, you can host one of these shows for a day. All right, that will do it for today on the morning warm up. 11 a.m. is when our NCAA tournament coverage starts. Thanks so much for listening to the morning warm up on VTRN Sports 93.3 FM W227 BG Timberlake and 1320 AM WBGM Lynchburg.
VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
This is VSiN by